City Hall for the second annual Civic Day, a hands-on way for high school students to learn about the function and impact of local government. All the departments have come together to share their role in serving the city with the hope that the students will increase their interest in public service.
It's really a chance for us to show off the work that we do to make the city safer, more attractive, better maintained. And there's a selfish piece of this, and that is that we want to get students interested in public service as a career. Hopefully by spending some time with them, sharing with them what we do, we will spark an interest in just a few of them to get interested, either working for the city of El Segundo or some other city somewhere nearby.
The city is like a mini company, and there's many departments that they can get involved within a city. So there's finance, there's operations, there's building and planning, there's economic development, and we want them to understand that it takes a lot of people to make a city run.
This is the first of 2 days, so today is really about learning about the city. We are going to put the students to work, and we're going to have them report back on plans for renovation of the Teen Center. And they're going to be making that presentation at a mock city council meeting where some of the students are going to be serving as the presenters and some are going to be serving as the city council members and hopefully voting on a project. And there's some reality to all this because we do want to renovate the Teen Center. We want to do it in a way that the teens are really going to inform us as to what can make that a better facility.
They gave us a specific project this year, so we're going to have a class competition between my 4 periods to see who can give the best redesign to the Teen Center.
This day is really important to our students, especially when you can bring any kind of real life experience. It makes it very meaningful that students see relevancy and purpose and start making connections about, oh, the things that I learn in school have real life purpose, and make those connections and feel good about it.
I shadowed Council Member Don, and I definitely did learn a lot of things like how life and the day in the life of a council member works. I definitely got an idea of how things in legislation gets into place, especially in city government.
I shadowed Greg, the city manager, and he took us around El Segundo, me and a few other students that were shadowing him. He took us around in a car and just showed us a bunch of places that he's worked on in El Segundo and how the process sort of works.
Well, I wanted them to learn the various roles here in the city, and we've got, students representing all of those. And I wanted them to see where we work and the kinds of issues that we encounter and try to resolve, and how the process works as we go through things, or sometimes doesn't work so well. So all of those things that you can learn better by doing than by reading about.
We talked a little bit about the full-service human resources function. We took a tour of City Hall and we went and met with some of our firefighters and talked to them a little bit about their continuing education and the arc that they take in their career and the requirement of continuing education in professional life.
Dylan and Amy discovered what it takes to be a firefighter.
I learned about the fire department and how it works in great detail. So I learned about, the living quarters, their daily routines, all the training that goes into going out there in the field and, determining the roles of the crew and, the jobs that they have to do in order to keep the city safe. So every time I go there, I get a little more encouraged to, participate in this lifestyle because it does intrigue me a lot.
I feel like I've learned more today than I have in one day of school. So I feel like it's just a different type of education. I can go to school, I love all my teachers, don't get me wrong, but it's just a different type of education. When you're actually out in the work area and the workforce and you're in real life, you're understanding what your next steps of life are and just street knowledge instead of just trying to learn something out of a textbook. And it's just real life knowledge. So driving in the fire truck was a lot of fun. It was really cool, and I can definitely see myself doing this as a career, so I'm excited.
Well, when I found out that they were interested in the fire service, I guess really the biggest thing I wanted them to learn is what a great career it is. I enjoy it. I wouldn't do anything else, and I would like anybody who's interested in this profession to feel the same way. It's exhilarating, it's fun, it's, sometimes the opposite of that as well. But all in all, I would like them to experience the joy that I have for the last 34 years.
It's been 2 months since the first part of Civic Day. Today, the students returned to the council chamber to present their ideas for the renovation of the Teen Center in a mock city council meeting that will be televised on both YouTube and cable TV.
And we're real excited that this year we decided to make a project around the teen center. It's something in our city that is been underutilized and underfunded, and we really want to make sure that the kids have a haven to go to within the city that's up to date and that's inviting. So we're going to challenge our students to look at the teen center, look how they can redevelop it so that it's something the kids of the town will want to come to.
The meeting will now come to order. For high schoolers, I think we all did an amazing job. I think each project had its own, wow factor. Everyone had its own innovative ideas, and they were all pretty different. None of them were the same.
Each of the classes had presented an idea, so there was a total of 4 projects. They were very creative. They came up with ideas like putting a deck at the back of the teen center, redoing the skate park, making it bigger, or changing around the basketball court to also make it multi-purpose, and really also providing good food choices for the kids.
Our ideas were we wanted to bring in more arcade games and more furniture because the furniture is definitely run down. It's very dirty. We were thinking about more leather since it does patch up and scratch, but it's a lot easier to clean. And we were thinking about bringing in a more cleaning committee to keep it just more sanitary.
Our wow factor for our class, our period 4 class, is actually to make it a relief center too if anything were to happen. So I think that's our main point we want to get across to the committee.
Everything's dependent on resources and budget, of course, but they had great ideas that were both expensive and inexpensive, and some that were just programmatic, just things we can change right away. So yes, a number of their suggestions will be implemented for sure.
My hope is the main city council will come together and combine all the ideas into one.
Along with earning an A, the winning class period will also get a home-cooked meal.
They're going to win breakfast burritos from me. I get to cook next week, so.
It's a great partnership between the city and the schools to ensure that our future leaders are in tuned into what goes into making change in our local communities. And I'm just so pleased that these kids were really present and wanted to participate and did a great job.
If the students were the stars of the meeting, Mr. Gast was the director who brought the show to life.
Mr. Gass is a great teacher. He made sure we were taking our polls. He made sure those polls were coming from people that live inside of El Segundo because that's who's going to be affected. He made sure that we were doing research to back up everything we did. We stayed in contact with people who actually work for the city. I was contacting the city attorney quite often, making sure what we were doing was even legal, which I never would have thought of before. I would have been like, some people in my class wanted to make it into like a sky zone, and I was like, is that legal? Like, I don't know. And he just helped a lot with the guidance and telling us where to look when we didn't know.
They actually did take it really minute and very detailed, right down to dollars and pennies, which they didn't see coming at the beginning of the project, but as we got into it, they figured all these things out.
He's a really cool teacher. He's actually taught us so much, and I think that political behavior is the most important class that you could take in high school because it's so real world, and he teaches us about current events and relates them to everything that's happened. And yeah, he's a really good teacher. That's
why I'm trying to make political science an interesting subject matter. I've been interested in it since I was 14 years old, and I sometimes think in education as a whole that it's not taken very serious. Even these kids aren't exposed to it until their senior year, when many of them have already picked colleges and their majors. So I like it when I get a hold of them when they say, hey, I changed my major, I want to study politics.
This Civics Day event was actually nominated by Mr. Gass for California Civic Award of Merit and selected, as well as for California Democracy School. So the school has now received 2 significant awards from outside agencies specifically for this learning experience for our students.
It's a unique learning experience students couldn't get by staying inside a classroom.
We have great kids here in El Segundo. I feel really good about our future.
Working together and agreeing on one idea under 32 kids was really hard, and just all being on the same page, but it taught us a lot about cooperation, compromise, and leadership.
I think it's super cool that high school kids get to experience, a spot like this, me being able to sit up, pretend to be mayor for a day, it's great, it's amazing.
I was one of the 2 mayors, and it was nothing like I thought it would be. I felt like I actually had so much leadership, so much say, so much, We were all working as one, I really felt like, but I felt like the mayor had another sense of leadership, as in like grabbing everyone together and making sure we're all on the same page. We had to make sure everyone was heard and had a voice too. I had no idea how much went into a city council, especially one the size of El Segundo. I never thought about it, I never cared to look into it, but it just opened my eyes to so much. I actually want to major in political science now. I want to teach history, but politics is something I was never interested in, but it's super interesting to me now.
I thought it would be a lot more stressful. Like, I get to share my opinion while being able to hear everyone else's opinions, and I really enjoy that.
This was just overall a really amazing experience. No other class has given me this opportunity. I don't know if it's available at any other school. It's just so unique, and I'm so glad I was a part of it.
It's been a great experience for me too, seeing the kids' eyes open up to local politics and government.
Today's meeting has been a learning experience for everyone involved, and the efforts of these high school seniors could create real change in the city. It's a project that has shown what could happen when you get involved in your community. For El Segundo TV, I'm Catherine Chen.